Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to teach you how to clone this repo onto your computer. Right, so I'm currently looking at the project blog remote repository. We use the term remote to refer to a repo or a repository that is currently being hosted by GitHub, and it's on the internet, right? It's not local to us. It's not on our computer currently. We want to make this remote repository local, so we need to clone it. All right, so let's look at these instructions down here in the README, how to clone this repo. There are 6 steps, and the first step is to navigate to project location on PC. Okay, on your computer, find a sensible place, in other words, a place you can remember, to save the project code once you've cloned it. If you're unsure where to do this, create a folder titled Projects on your desktop and open this folder. When you clone the remote repository, Git will create a folder inside your projects folder, so there's no need to create another folder for this. All right, so let's do this. So we have to find a sensible place in our computer to store the code for project blog. Right, I'm just going to do it on my desktop. It's easy to find. And let me create a folder called projects. You can call this whatever you want, and you don't actually have to put it in another folder on your desktop. You can clone the project straight onto your desktop. I just like keeping things a little bit more organized than just loose in my desktop. So now we have this projects folder or directory, and let me open it up. And now I've navigated to the project location. Obviously we don't have the project just yet, but we just want to make sure we know where we want the project to be once we've cloned it. All right, so that's step 1 done. Now step 2, navigate to project location in terminal. All right, if you haven't used the terminal or the command line, it's not as scary as it might seem. All right, but it says in your terminal, make sure your working directory is pointing to the folder you created in step 1. But before we do that, let's open up our terminal. If you're on a Mac, you will look for your terminal. So you'll just search for that. On a PC, you can just type in CMD and you can open up your command prompt. But I'm going to be using bash or git bash. So I'm going to search bash, and I'd recommend you use this as well. It might help just to make sure that everything is the same on your PC as it is on mine. Let me make this a little bit bigger over here, and I'm going to increase the size of this terminal like this. Okay, now this looks a little bit scary, all this black space, but don't worry, there are a few commands that I can teach you that'll help you navigate to this place. Right, so this instruction says navigate to project location. The project location we went to in step 1 in the terminal. So we need to make sure our terminal is looking at or pointing at this folder. All right, it's got to be looking here. This is on our desktop in a folder named projects. Let's see where we currently are by typing pwd, which stands for print working directory. So what is this terminal working on? What is its working directory? This is what it is. C drive in the folder users and the folder skull, which is short for my surname. Right, now I want to see what folders are available to me where I am in skull so that I can go into to get to my desktop. Well, if I type ls, that will list all the folders and files that are in skull at the moment. Right, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here. I know that on my PC, I want to go into OneDrive because my desktop is in OneDrive. In order to do that, in order to go into this directory, we want to change our directory from skull to OneDrive. We're going one layer deeper. And so we say cd, which stands for change directory, and then we type out the name of that directory that we want to go into. All right, / at the end. I don't think that's necessary, but I'm putting it there just in case, and hit enter. Now you'll see it's updated our working directory. Let me print the working directory again. And now you see we're on the C drive within users, and within that in skull, and within that in OneDrive. So I think we're getting a little bit closer. Let's type ls, enter, to see what's available to us. App data, desktop. Ah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the desktop. So now let me go into this directory by typing cd, change directory, then typing desktop / hitting enter. Now I'm on my desktop. So now desktop is my working directory. We're nearly there. We now want to navigate into projects. Now I don't need to type ls again to see where I want to go because I know I just want to go there, but let me do that anyway. ls, what do we have? Projects, the Net Ninja. You'll see here it's got this other folder. We could go into that. Let me just show you what happens if we do that. If I type in cd, the Net Ninja, we're now in this folder. So if we were to clone the repo, it would clone it into that folder, but we want to clone into this one. But how do we get back? How do we go out of the NetNinja folder into desktop? It's a little bit frustrating if you know how to go forward, but you don't know how to go back. Well, you just type cd, change directory, space, dot, dot, and it will take you up one. So you see now we're back on the desktop. Now to get into projects, let me say ls. There it is, projects. We could just copy this and paste it in, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to type it out for you. So change directory, projects, / great. Now our terminal is looking at this location. So whatever commands we now run in here, they will take place over here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So that's step 2, navigate to project location in terminal. All right. Now step 3, copy the URL. In GitHub, click the green code button and copy the URL that is shown in the little box. This is the URL that refers to this remote repo. So let's scroll up here to the top. Here's this green code button. If I click on that, it will show me this link. Let me copy that to my clipboard. That's all we have to do. All right, that's step 3. For step 4, we have to clone the repo in Git. So this is the main step. In your terminal, type this command, git clone, and then the URL that we just copied. All right, you don't need this less than and greater than symbol. You just need to paste the URL that we copied above. All right, so let's do that. It should already be on my clipboard. I'm now on my terminal. I need to type git space clone space, and then I'm going to paste that URL in here. There's the URL. Okay, if else code project-blog.git, and let me hit enter. And as I do that, look at what's going to happen over here. We should see that folder. Hit enter, cloning into project blog. There it is. That was pretty quick, and it's already done. Great, so that was step 4. Now step 5 is just some admin, I suppose. Check that the files have been successfully cloned. So in the folder you created, in other words, our projects folder, you should now see another folder that was previously not there called project blog. Open this folder and compare what you see here with the files and folders you see listed in the remote repo on GitHub. So we're in the remote repo over here, and we want to make sure that we can see all of this stuff in the folder that we just cloned. All right, so let me actually just pull it up here alongside. Go into project blog, and let's see, there's a models folder, models, public, routes, views.ds_store.gitignore. Okay, great. It looks like we've got everything here, including the README that we were reading for these instructions. So far, it looks like that's good. Step 5 is good. And then in summary, you now have a local clone of the remote repo. Okay, changing the code that you've cloned won't affect the remote repo unless you push to it. So in other words, now that I've got this code, I can do whatever I want to this, to any of the files in here, and it's not going to affect anything in here unless I push those changes onto the master branch of this repo. But we'll explore that in another video, and the Coding Journeys video is very, very helpful in understanding how you should be doing that within your team. Now, one bonus step, if you're using VS Code, you can open VS Code in such a way that it looks at this project blog folder so that you see all of this stuff in VS Code. So let's do that. I'm going to open VS Code. My PC is a bit slow, I'm sorry. Sheesh, this is really slow. All right. There we go. Currently, I don't have any projects open. Let me just close this untitled document. I'm going to go to File and Open Folder. Now, this, I think, is different on Mac. On Mac, you might have to drag this projects folder over VS Code to have it open as a folder. All right. For some reason, I don't think they offer the option of opening it from within Visual Studio Code. But you want to open folder, not a workspace. I think that's slightly different. But if you're on PC like me, then you want to say open folder. And now over here, you want to navigate to the project blog folder that we just cloned. So we don't want to open projects, because then if there are any other files here that we don't want to work on, then we're going to see those. We just want to see this. I'm going to click on that and say select folder. Now you'll see VS Code just thinking a little bit, and there we go. We've currently got the project blog directory open and all the files there. We can look at the README file. That's what we were looking at right now. That's what it looks like. We can look at the package.json file to see what dependencies we would need to install, and we can look at that in another video. We can look at app.js. This is the main file for this web app that we're going to run when we start this up. And under views, we can see the different templates that we might want to work on, especially on the front end. So main layout.ejs, and here we can write some HTML if we need to. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please comment down below or just put them in the Discord server. You know, everyone there will be more than willing to help. So I hope that you weren't lost and that you didn't have any issues, and I'll see you guys in the project. Cheers.